What I want to point out here is that you asked the question, is it higher, is it worse to have 120 volts, 20 amps, 277, 10 amps? What I'm telling you is that these numbers, you need to ignore them. How many amps does it take to kill somebody?
One.
It's not even one.
0.6.
0.5 milliamps.
One, what's that?
Like 0.5 milliamps.
500 milliamps. Yeah, well, it's 500 milliamps, yeah.
How many volts does it take to kill somebody?
That's not the question.
Okay.
That actually is what we're talking about, but you can't answer that just by what we're saying, information you've given. So we're talking about amps. It takes a certain amount of amperage to kill somebody. How many amps that goes through here is going to be dependent on this number and this number. So we've already determined that 524,000 ohms is what your resistance is. So if I touch a hot wire here and I touch a ground wire here, that's how much current right there is going through me. That's the number you got to pay attention to. And that's why you don't die every time you touch 120 volts. Now, you're going to let's start throwing this other number in here. That's 277. So at 277 volts, let's rerun that number. What do we have a minute ago at 0.00023? So if I put 277 there, what do I come up with?
0.00052.
0.00052. Now, 0.00052, 0.00023, which one's higher? 0.00052. So which one, in this case, we're talking about this, which one's more dangerous? Amperage or voltage? Voltage. And when it applies to us, we're actually saying voltage is more dangerous, but you can't just say voltage is more dangerous because you're worried about the amperage that's flowing through your body. So that number, when you start looking at the 100 amp breakers and the 400 amp breakers at 120 volts, is irrelevant. It doesn't make a bit of difference. You only need to know about your resistance and the amperage that flows through your body, which is going to be decided by the voltage that's there. So if you took that right there and you ran 4160 through it, let's see what we come up with there. Somebody want to do the math for me?
0.0079.
0.0079.
0.008.
So there you're getting a lot closer. You're starting to get a lot closer to the numbers that are going to start killing you. Okay? Now, what changes? So we can adjust numbers. We can try to mitigate issues. So we can work on low voltages. We're never going to work with 4160 like that. We'll never just, the way we do 120 or 277, we're never going to work with 4160. We occasionally work 277, we occasionally work 120. You're going to hear a lot of people say, well, I don't like 120 because it holds on to you, and I don't like 277, or I like 277 better. It's, guys, it's better. So it really depends. There are a lot of different factors. Now, we're going to talk about one more thing here, and this is where the safety meter comes in. This 524,000 right here that we just got from Jonathan. How do we help that number?
Increase it.
Because we just said it, if we increase this resistance, then we decrease that amperage. Even if we still have something go through, go ahead.
Wear some gloves.
Wear some gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the gloves that are not rated for voltage are going to be better than nothing. Those MaxiFlex ones aren't voltage rated gloves, but they're still certainly better than nothing. So they're going to increase that resistance that goes through your body, and they're going to decrease the amperage that's going to be allowed to go through your body. What are the ways that you can increase or decrease that resistance? And I'm talking about what happens that may mitigate, make it more dangerous for us to work on something live.
Water.
Sweat. Sweat specific is what I was thinking about. So when you start sweating, you get sweaty hands, you get oily hands, you get things that become more conductive. You can actually do it. You can use your meter and put your hands on it. You'll see your resistance decrease. And you can do all those experiments. You can stick it on your head, put it on your hand, and see what happens if you put it in get it through your head into your hand. You can put it between your two hands, your hands and your feet. So all the things that that can be conductive to a ground those are the things that you need to be paying attention to, where it is that the electricity is going to flow through your body, and then you can calculate that number, and you can calculate how much amperage is actually going to go through your body. And knowing that will allow you to mitigate some of those issues you're going to run into, like trying not to be get into a sweaty situation and then not have any kind of gloves on, or just the dirt and the oils on your hands. There's a lot of different things that you can do. If you're working in a place where you might hit something in your head, wear your hard hat. It will keep any kind of conduction coming through your body. So there's a ton of things that you can do, but I want you guys to know this so that when you have somebody ask you the question and they say, because I can't tell you how many times I've asked a question and gotten so many wrong answers. I want you to be able to say, well, which is dangerous, more voltage or more amperage? And you have to say, it kind of depends. If you just want my short answer, I can tell you, but it's not really the right answer. I can tell you voltage, I can tell you amperage, but neither one is exactly right.